Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 145 people in 9 different countries. And this is the first in the set of 2 called the May 2025 Twin Set. And we will be working all sorts of very cool things that help in many ways. And the theme, so hopefully definitely going to help, is abundance. Thank you for my confirmation. I appreciate that. I'm going to get into the specifics of what we're going to do today. Well, I guess first generally. Okay, so abundance. Most people think of money when they think of abundance, which is fine. I have no issues with that. And hopefully this healing, I will aim for it to also help with money for sure. But abundance, as I would generally define it, would be like having what you need when you need it, and possibly even more than what you need. But certainly what you need when you need it. So that can be in the form of, assistance from people, though, as well, and not just money. It can also be in the form of like financial stability, so like being able to maintain an abundance level as opposed to just, getting the money, but being able to, have a continuous money stream coming in, or, being able to manage your expenses well. All sorts of stuff relates to abundance. So, so it should be interesting. And I guess yeah, let me talk about today, and as I talk about today, I will touch on what we did in the last healing of the last set. So this is, the twin set, and we already did the triplet set this month of 3 healings. This is 2 healings, this first of 2 healings. And so the final triplet set healing, we worked the 7th chakra a lot, and all sort of aspects of it, like the rivers of energy that, flow to the 7th chakra and away from the 7th chakra, and the 7th layer as well. So in order to help people to get as much volume of their own 7th chakra energy as possible, circulating and staying in their 7th layer. And it judging from the surveys, it looked like it was good. Like the benefits were definite. So we're gonna build on that today, and do not the exact same thing, but there'll be some similarities to what we do today with the 7 chakras, and we'll also do it with the first chakras. First chakra is most directly related to abundance if you have to pick just one chakra. So we'll do that same work with the first chakra as well. The reason we worked the 7th chakra so much was I was seeing that people get crushed too much. Like it's just too distracting. They have too many issues with invasive energy. And that is still a thing. So that's why we're again going to do the 7th chakra and 7th layer, and just try to get that as powerful as possible, because that's your first line of defense, as far as strong boundaries with external energies. So we'll do 7th, but we'll also do 1st, essentially. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. And then there are 2 extra things. In addition to the chakras, 7th and 1st, we'll make sure to do 7th and 1st chakra filaments, and maybe all chakra filaments as well, but a little bit of extra emphasis on the filaments. So filament is like the good cord, your connection from your 7th chakra to your astral body 7th, physical 7th to astral 7th chakras. There's a connection that you have, which maybe is most obvious when you're asleep and you're on the astral and your body is, asleep in bed. Then it's like you could kind of imagine very long filaments, but then when you come back, they retract. But it's your way of your physical body 7th communicating with your astral body 7th. That's your 7th chakra filament. So you have 7 filaments, one for each set of astral physical chakras, one for each period set. So anyway, I had noticed that some people had boundary issues that they couldn't resolve, like when they were sleeping, that woke them up, and that was because of they didn't realize they had hard pieces of energy, basically energy blocks in their filament. And so the filament, people can cord the energy blocks in a chakra anywhere, but including in a chakra filament, and that can be somebody's sort of backdoor into your space when you're asleep or when you're awake. So it'd be good to do those. So that's 7th and 1st chakra work and 7th and 1st chakra filament work. But then another thing we're going to do is being able to see your angels. So you have an area of your 6th chakra behind the forehead. It helps with non-judgment, but also vision, like clairvoyant vision, being able to see your own energy, other people's energy. And for many people, that's a subconscious ability, not a conscious ability. They can't close their eyes and see their energy. But the more you work your energy over time, that ability can become more conscious. So then you can see, that you have a block in your grounding, or you can see that, there's a big cord between you and somebody else, stuff like that. So, being able to see your angels turns out is pretty important, because you have angels, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously, but it is to me. But everyone has their own angels and a spirit guide as well. So the spirit guide helps with the angels and helps you. And your spirit guide is a human being spirit that is assigned to you, just like your angels are assigned to you for this lifetime, uniquely qualified to help you and guide you. But the spirit guide is a human being spirit in between lifetimes that volunteered to be somebody's spirit guide. And so then they're matched up with you. So you have your angels and your spirit guide, right? And so at any given time, you have at least your spirit guide with you, or one of your angels with you. They sort of take turns babysitting you and guiding you and helping and protecting. But you can have, the whole crew there, or, like half of your angels and your spirit guide there, depending on your need at the time. But your angels are always willing to give you healings. And but I noticed that people that couldn't see their angels had trouble accepting those healings from their angels. I think because it's just kind of scary, like, what's happening? If you can't see your angels, you don't know that, this awesome altruistic angel is going to help you and it's going to be great, so you kind of block it. So some people see their angels like sort of, on a subconscious level. And so therefore they have faith that, okay, I know that's my angel. So yeah, I'm going to let my angels heal me. But some people that their vision of their angels is completely blocked, then those people tend to not get that healing. And so then if they get damaged and they're not conscious meditators, the damage can last for quite a while because they're not letting their angels heal them. Right. So to be able to see your angels, what I mean is subconsciously see your angels, you know, like your astral body. Can your astral body see your angels? But we will, so as far as vision, it's your sixth chakra and then your sixth layer, which is generated by your sixth chakra. So it's layer 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? That's how they go. So your sixth layer is the energy generated by your sixth chakra. And so it generates it flows out the back and circulates all around and then flows back in the front, right? So it goes all around, you know, beneath you, around you. So the front half, well, okay, so the front of your sixth layer, right? And then the upper half of the front of your sixth layer is we'll call it your screen area, right? And so that functions as like a movie screen or a TV screen, you know, like that TV screen right there. Except hopefully it's not all blacked out like that one. Right? So you want to be able to see. And so it's really just your sixth layer. You don't need an extra device within your sixth layer. That's your screen. It's just that part of your sixth layer functions as a screen. And so if you have command over it, then you can kind of control what you see and, you know, say, okay, well, I'm going to look at this, or I'm going to look at this, you know, I'm going to see if my leg is blocked, see if one leg is blocked more than the other. I'm going to look at, you know, I have a knee trouble with my left knee. I'm going to look at my auras around my left knee and my left knee, you know, whatever. Right. So if that's too blocked up, you're not good at seeing anything. And that can, you know, you have 2 sixth layers, one for your astral body and one for your physical body, right? And 2 sixth chakras, one for your astral body, one for your physical body. So we're going to unblock your screen area, which, like I said, is the front of your sixth layer, the upper half of it. We're going to unblock that and clear it out for both your astral body and your physical body. And we're going to especially unblock, you know, clear out stuff that's in the way of you seeing your angels, because being able to get healings 24/7 is a huge, pretty much priceless benefit. Right. And so, so that'll be cool. So that's that. That's one of the 3 main things we'll be doing. So 7th and 1st chakra work and 7th and 1st chakra filament work. And then the second thing is seeing your angels and working your clairvoyant screen area of your 6th layer. And then the final big thing is okay. To be able to receive is a lot about abundance. Is important. Like you could we're going to help you clear baggage so that it's easier for you to receive and easier for you to receive cleanly. Because sometimes people don't want to receive because they're nervous that, like, well, if I accept a gift from people or money from people, then I owe them something, and maybe it's like kind of unclean, like, you know, it's like a bad bargain for me, like I'm writing a blank check, like, you know, like, oh, I'll do anything for you, you know. And so you want to have your boundaries, you want to have healthy boundaries, right? You want to receive cleanly. But even regarding receiving cleanly, a lot of people just have fears blocking and in the way. So there's something that's beneficial, definitely beneficial. And, like, you know, maybe 70% of them wants it, but then 30% of them just has fears blocking, you know, putting up roadblocks. So they're unable to receive. And that can be from their angels, they're unable to receive, you know, or have limited ability to receive from their angels, or from people, you know, say potential business clients, or friends that want to help out, or, you know, maybe if you have family members that are able to give in a healthy way, which is definitely not a given for everybody. But so receiving from angels, receiving from people, but also then receiving from the universe, you know, like good karma, that the universe wanting to help you out, just because, you know, in this life or in past lives, you've been altruistic and helpful towards others, you know, then the universe does want to pay you back and help you out. So we're going to work that. We're going to work, you know, if you're subconsciously putting up walls, preventing yourself from receiving these beneficial gifts and offerings from people, angels, and the universe. So that technique will be possibly the most impactful as far as money and abundance, but we'll see. It might depend on the person, you know, like sometimes somebody needs a certain technique way more than the other, and that's not the same for everybody. So, but anyway, that'll be cool. And then the minor things that we'll do or contributing things, maybe not the biggie ones. So sinuses, I want to unblock those more. And I think fourth chakra and sinuses could be interesting to do at the same time, like chest area, because you know your sinuses and your lungs, but you know fourth chakra. So I think that could be interesting to do those together. So we'll do those together. So sinuses, fourth chakra, chest, that kind of thing. And that could be a receiving thing too. You know, like literally and metaphorically, you know, just being able to inhale, you know. You have obstructions in the way of like a nice, you know, open inhale. So that should be cool. We may do some traditional Chinese medicine meridians for that too. We'll see. But then the mowhawk area stuff, GV meridian, that meridian that goes up the midline of the back and hooks around the head and ends in the roof of the mouth. So that one, GV 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So just, if you had a mohawk haircut, you know, it's sort of half a mohawk maybe, or 3/4 of a mohawk. So that area. So we'll work on, you know, that GV 15 to 20 part of that meridian, those energy centers, those little acupuncture points are numbered 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So we'll unblock those and heal that meridian, but then of course the auras around it, take some pressure off it. That helps a lot with presence, and so should be good. So those are the basics. That's sort of the outline for today. So I'm going to go ahead and sales notes. My website is jwhealing.com. You can purchase June healing sets as well as now July healing sets on my website. I'll have to look up the themes so I don't get them wrong. My memory is not great. Well, I don't like saying it like that because that's like sort of sounds judgy. But yeah, I don't have the same level of memory that many people have. Let's put it that way. I'm a little different. All right. So the June theme. Oh yeah. Heal heart fatigue, increase enthusiasm and motivation. That should be nice. And the July theme is strong boundaries, presence and flow. So can't go wrong with those. So anyway, those are for sale on my website. The triplet set and the twin set for June and July. All those 4 sets are available for purchase if you want for yourself and or loved ones. What else? There was something else that was salesy, I think. Maybe that's it. Yeah, I think that's good enough. If you want, subscriptions, of course. If you don't want to have to like buy manually all the time and think about it, you can just buy a subscription and get all the healings without having to manually purchase, because then the payments are withdrawn, automatically each month. So you don't have to worry about things selling out or whatever. Or, it's just one less to-do list item purchasing. So subscriptions are available on my website. You could get a full subscription, which is, both sets each month, which honestly, that's what most people do that I'm healing. But you could also get a twin set only subscription where you get the twin set each month. Yeah, that's it. And you can also get a subscription for a loved one of yours too, if you want. Or you could share, like you could have a full shared one that's like, say you get the triplet sets and your spouse gets the twin sets each month, something like that. As long as it doesn't change. I don't want a lot of drama with subscriptions. So if it's always the same each month, then that's fine. Like maybe you and your son would share a full subscription, and, he gets the triplets maybe because he needs as much help as possible, and you get the twin sets. Whatever. So that's that. Those are subscriptions, which are available, like I said. Okay. Otherwise, you can purchase manually on the 15th each month. That's when they go up on my website. You can sign up to get my news emails. I don't automatically add people. So if you purchased a healing at some point and you're wondering why I don't keep emailing you, that's why. I don't want to be spammy. So, but you can say, hey, please add me to your news email list. So then I do email you each month on the 15th, and I'm happy to do that if you ask. My email is janet@jwhealing.com. And there's also a contact page on my website too. So, all right, that's enough of that. All right, so now I will look at free healing chat comments. See where people are watching from, what the weather is like where you are. Little fun, cute, trivial things like that. Oh, speaking of fun, cute trivia, the country count stats for where people are that I'm healing. So I'll be healing 145 people in 9 different countries. Like I said, 116 of those people are in the US right now. 6 are in the United Arab Emirates, 5 in Canada, 5 in the UK, 5 in South Korea, 3 in Qatar, 3 in Ukraine, 1 in Japan, and 1 in Australia. So hello, hello, hello to all the 145 people that I'll be healing. And also hello to anyone that's watching live. Maybe some people watch live don't purchase the healing, and that's fine. Then you can just heal yourself as you watch. Of course, the people I'm healing can also heal themselves as they watch if they want. Okay, so now really the pre-healing chat comments. Okay, someone says they can see and hear you. Thank you. Someone says hello, Janet. Hello from cloudy Ottawa, Canada. Can see and hear you clearly. Thank you. Someone's saying hello from Las Vegas, Nevada. 96 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. My goodness. Wowza. So I have my little conversion chart, so I won't keep converting the whole time, but 96 degrees Fahrenheit. What is that in Celsius? Wow. That's like maybe like 37 degrees Celsius. That's too warm for me. If we had that here, which we might this summer, like for a few days, that would be considered a heat wave here. But for you, I suppose that's just normal for this time of year. Well, I don't know. Is that normal for May for you guys? It says the background is beautiful, like flowing water, like grounding, and the birds flying. Yep, I'm glad you like it. Someone says, hey, Janet, can see and hear you from sunny San Francisco, California. 62 degrees Fahrenheit. With lots of pretty emojis. 62 Fahrenheit and sunny. That's very pleasant. Someone says hi from Australia. Hello to you. Love learning and love your style of healing. Well, thank you. I'm glad. You're welcome, welcome, welcome. Someone says, hey, Janet, we can see and hear you in Chicago. 50 degrees and sunny. How about that? Oh, getting some mild and delightful weather. This is, hi, Janet, can see and hear you. Okay. I repeated 7th chakra stuff almost daily, and it made so much difference. Yeah, from the last healing. I feel more protected, and I love that phrase about the first line of defense. Yep. Someone says their birthday is on Sunday. Well, happy early birthday. And they are viewing from Windsor, New York. I was born in New York State, actually. Fun fact. The only thing I miss, because I didn't really have a great childhood, but the only thing I do miss is the autumn leaves in New York State. They have really beautiful autumn colors. Grew up in an area with lots and lots of trees. So I have lots of trees here too, but here they're around me right now. They're evergreen trees, you know, so they're always green, which is nice too. And they're giant and very old, so that's cool too. But yeah, those fall colors in New York State, I do miss that. Alrighty. Well, let's see. Oh, and we get some context. Thank you so much. 96 degrees is normal for Vegas. Wow. Vegas, Nevada in the US. We have over 100 days of 100 degrees or more every year. Oh, wow. How can people garden there? They must have like sunshades over their garden to be able to garden there, because that's hardcore. A lot of plants couldn't handle that. Tomatoes, even. I mean, you'd have to shelter them to some degree to be able to withstand that heat for that long. Wow. I don't suppose you're a gardener? Grew up around trees in Oregon. Oregon is the state south of where I am now. I'm in Washington State. So Washington and Oregon. If you grew up on the west side of the state, it's very similar to where we are in the west side of Washington State. It's like a rainy rainforest thing, except for in the summer. Then usually there's no rain in the summer, except for last summer. That was weird. Alrighty. Well, cool. So now we're going to do the 3 minutes of quiet. And then towards the end of that, I start the healing. And so you'll see me go like that. That's how you know I started the healing. And for that first minute or so, I'm not talking because I want to, get in the zone. And then for the rest of the time, I say out loud what I'm doing as I do it. So you could use it as an all levels healing walkthrough if you wish. Strategic gardening. Alrighty. There's some nice silence without me talking. Here we go. Okay, thank you for waiting. So you can go ahead and recreate your grounding. You have 2 groundings, one for your astral body aura and astral body, one for your physical body aura and physical body. So make them both nice and wide as all your auras, and wide all the way down to the core of the earth. And then you make a copy out in front of you of both of your groundings. And you have hand chakras, one in the palm of each hand, nice big energy centers, and also fingertip chakras, one in each fingertip. So you can set those particular energy centers to a metallic gold color. And with your intention, you don't have to be able to see energy yet. And so then as they spin, that's the color of energy they're generating. And that color energy, or that vibration of energy, is good for healing and unblocking and repairing. So you can go ahead and use the gold light from one hand to heal the other hand. And the more you unblock those energy centers in your hands and your fingertips, the more energy they generate, the less clogged up they are. Right? So you could do that directly, one hand healing the other, or you can make a copy out in front of you of your own hands and heal them that way. It's up to you what you like. You can also heal your shoulders and your arms and your elbows and your wrists while you're at it. So make a copy out in front of you of your shoulders and arms and hands. Use lots of gold light to unblock. And melt away all the hard objects that might be stuck in your shoulders or your arms or your hands, your elbows, your wrists. All right, and then so back to your grounding. Use that gold light from your hands to comb through your grounding. And find the blocks in your grounding and just surround them with so much gold light that they melt away. And you could have invasive beings kind of playing games with you in your grounding. They might look like just like bouncy clouds or something. So you just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my grounding, can you please recycle them? You want your groundings to be like big flowing waterfalls, flowing in the front and the back, both sides, the center. And indie grounding is where you use gold light and you wash the outer surface of your groundings all the way down, and you melt away any attachments, like any hard objects sticking out of your grounding, and anybody's grounding who's hooking into your grounding. Just melt that all away so that your grounding works really well. It's better, especially if you're a parent really of young kids, it's better that their grounding goes straight down to the core of the earth and not into yours. That way they'll be more stable and you won't be driven up a wall so easily. But that also goes for like coworkers, work colleagues, stuff like that, clients, friends. Just wash everybody out of your grounding. You can say, if you feel like their intentions are good, you still wash them out, but say, well, thanks for your support. Have your angels help you with your grounding. Something nice like that if you want, but you still wash them out because it's not helping either of you to be all tangled up like that. All righty. Good job. So aura repair, your auras are all around you. You have 17 auras, astral body, physical body, that's 2 of them. And then 15 auras called Wei Qi auras. Wei Qi, astral body aura, physical body aura, and then 15 Wei Qi auras. So Wei Qi is a traditional Chinese medicine concept. It has to do with strong boundaries. So your Wei Qi auras are a lot of your Wei Qi energy. So it just helps you hold your ground, not get crushed. They generate a lot of gold light, these Wei Qi auras that get sent inward to help open up and protect and nourish your meridians of your physical body, and they also nourish your astral body too. So they're good. So all 17 of those auras are important. So you just imagine all your auras out in front of you like a copy, all your 17 auras, and then your physical body and your astral body are inside there, and both your groundings connect you to the core of the earth, and just comb through all that. And you want to check out, see if you need repair for any of these 17 auras. Like, are there any rips or gashes or big missing areas? And it's definitely possible because you have so many auras. So you can repair them locally, just like keep washing them out with gold light, wash out all the junk until the gold light makes really good contact, and then it can start to grow back your aura until there's, it's a nice round, bouncy, strong area. But also you could just repair all your rips all at once, which is what we're going to do. So that's composite copy technique. So you create an image of a rip and you say with your intention, okay, well, this rip represents all the rips that I currently have in my 17 auras. And then as you repair this rip, you're repairing all those rips, right? So you make your composite copy rip, say, okay, well, this represents all the rips that I need to repair in my auras. And then you clean it out and then it'll repair better. So use sticky gold wax, which is gold light from your hands, that with your intention, it's going to harden and form a lump around everything that's not you. So then you can just lift all that junk out that's not you and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. So sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk at once. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out all that junk all at once. Here you go. So what is all the junk? Invasive people, invasive beings, and hard objects that could have been thrown in there to make the rip in the first place. So I'm going to get all that out. And then now that all that's out of the way, you can use gold light and get it really deep in there and make good contact with the ripped surface so that it grows back. All right, so that probably repaired most of your rips, but we'll do the process one more time just for any leftover rips. So make one more composite copy of a rip and say, okay, well, this represents any leftover rips that I still have. And then do the same process again. You could just maybe ask your angels, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair? And then from then on, it's just the same thing. So sticky gold wax, lift out all the junk that's not you. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out the junk, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And get deep in there in the rip. The gold light, start the repair going. And there may be a couple hard objects that are still in there. So just yank those out, come to your angels. Angels, here you go. And again, angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair, can you please recycle them? Alrighty. So you can check the outer surface now of all your 17 auras. Just see, maybe you might have little pinhole leaks, little tiny ones. So just use extra cold light so that those can repair. You want the outer surface to be nice and bouncy and strong, nice and flowing. The Wei Qi auras have gold mesh spheres within them. So each Wei Qi aura has 3 gold mesh spheres wrapped all around that generate the gold light of that Wei Qi aura. And so if those gold mesh spheres have, gaps in them, because of rips in the gold mesh sphere, then, it can't generate gold light right there. So just imagine all your gold mesh spheres all at once, all the outer ones, the middle ones, and the inner ones for your 15 Wei Qi auras, and just repair them all at once with gold light. All right. So then you can just recreate your gold buffer zones. I always forget the names of things, even though I actually made up the name in the first place. So redo your gold buffer zones. Those are big gold buffers. One for your physical body aura that you put on the outside of it, and one for your astral body aura. And I do have a video on that if you need a refresher or you need to learn how to create those. If you search Wright gold buffer zones, you'll find it. All right, good job. Okay, so your creative rings are right up here in your astral body energy system. 1, 2, 3, 3 gold rings, and they come and go with you as a spirit, and they generate gold light, much like your gold mesh spheres of your Wei Qi auras. And it's also an important passageway for energy. Your energy leaving your 7th chakra or going in your 7th chakra passes through the creative ring. So if there's a lot of shit there, it's hard for your energy to pass through. Maybe it gets distorted and kind of, is not as inspiring and powerful as it would have been. Or it just overworks your 7th chakra, because your 7th chakra always has to push or pull energy through that mess. So we don't want any mess, right? So you can just imagine copies of your 3 gold creative rings out in front of you, and use gold light from your hands and just melt away anything that's not you. Use gold water, gold fire. You can have cords. Generally, cords come in pairs. If you're looking in a really detailed way, you would see it. Not always, but most of the time. So there'll be a pair of cords, from somebody in your creative rings, or from an invasive being. So just melt away the cords from people, going into your creative rings. And invasive beings, you can melt the cords from them, definitely, but since they generally have no positive purpose, your angels can just recycle them for you, which is more efficient. So you can imagine them if you want, although that's optional. So you imagine, your creative rings, and maybe there's like some clouds around them, or maybe they're far off and they're just cording from afar. You just say, angels, You recycle any invasive beings messing with my creative ring. Take a deep breath and let your angels do that. And then again, so your creative rings, as well as the round openings of your chakras, have flaps. So this is like a top-down view of one of your creative rings if the flaps are in a fully irritated state and they're popped open. So you don't want the flaps to look like this, although it's pretty common, especially if you feel overwhelmed. Chances are your flaps are open of your creative rings. So if you melt cords away and get the invasive beings recycled and stuff, then the flaps can relax and fall shut. So then it's just a smooth outer surface, which is better because then you don't have energy that's not you kind of messing up the system there. And then your energy can pass through the center of the creative rings. So and if you can't see energy, that's fine. You just use your intuition or kind of guess, but you just keep melting cords and healing and repairing, because you can have like damage. You can have like hard objects stuck in the ring, or just like a crack or a missing piece. So just use so much gold light that they repair. A lot of times the damage is around, like, if it was a clock, like 12 and 6 and 3 and 9. But it doesn't have to be. You can have damage and hard objects anywhere in the rings. You can just lift out the hard objects and melt them away separately, lift them out, give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? Lift them out and blow them up if you want. Lift them out. If you're healing someone else, I would suggest that you not blow anything up because it's a little bossy. But you can hand something to the angels, you can run gold light through it, and the person fully lets go of it, and therefore it melts away fully. But anyway, just keep working your creative rings, melt away junk that's not you. And in between each of the 3 creative rings, you want, like, you don't want junk there. You don't want any hardness or anything that's not you. All right. That's creative rings. Repair and unblocking, melting cords, yada yada. So chakra repairing and unblocking, we'll use, again, composite copy techniques so that we can repair and unblock all your major and minor chakras at the same time of your body and spirit. So major chakras, that's the 7 astral and 7 physical along your spine, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 in the top of the head. So, right. So you have 2 sets of 7 chakras. Those are your major chakras. So then any other energy center, I would call your minor chakras, even though they were very important as well. It's just they're not the major chakras that everyone knows. So minor chakras include all the very, very, very cool acupuncture points all over your physical body, but also just energy centers along, any major energy flow pathway. You have chakras because they help keep the energy moving, right? And chakras, they help keep the energy moving. They also generate energy. So let's repair and unblock them all at once. So this is a basic chakra shape. They're all pretty much like this, maybe a lot smaller depending on the location, of course. I mean, this is just to show what I mean by an open cylinder, basically. Shape for your chakras. So go ahead and make one image of, you know, and it can look like that paper thing I just showed you if you want, and have that represent all your chakras, all your major and minor chakras. And then you say, okay, well, this represents all my major and minor chakras, and I'm going to repair and unblock. You know, so as you repair and unblock the copy, then you're working on all your chakras at the same time. So lots of gold light, and your intention is you want to do only what's healthy and gentle to do at this time. Right? So lots of gold light, and you have flaps. Like I said, you know, this is showing what flaps look like, right? So you have flaps around the round opening of the chakra. So you want to melt cords enough and unblock enough so that the flaps relax and fall shut, so that your energy can flow through the chakra, but it's harder for people to pour it in and mess up stuff. So melt the cords. And you can have damage, like missing chunks or little cracks or gashes or holes that don't belong there, scratches. So just heal the chakra and repair the damage, melt the cords. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my chakras, can you please recycle them? And what that's going to do is they're going to recycle, your angels are going to recycle as many invasive beings as are healthy and gentle for you to recycle at one time. So then, you know, if you have to ask like 2 minutes later, it's not like your angels didn't do anything. It's just they're trying to, you know, help you bit by bit. So, and you can kind of comb through the chakra with your energy hand and drag out what's healthy and gentle to clear and just melt it away with lots of gold light. So comb through, drag out the junk, melt it away with gold light or gold fire. Comb through, drag out the junk, melt it away. Or blow it up if you're healing yourself. Comb through, drag it out, melt it away. Here. I'm going to keep alternating, you know, keep doing repair. The more you unblock, the more you're able to repair. And vice versa, I suppose. You can have energy blocks stuck like right in the middle or inside the chakra, so melt those. You have energy blocks wrapped around the outside of the chakra, so just melt those. Or you can lift them out, melt them that way. Lift them out and melt them. We can do theme related unblocking. So lift out of your chakras any baggage that's impairing your abundance to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now. So lift out a healthy and gentle amount of baggage that's in the way of your abundance. Lift it out. And the angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this stuff, can you recycle them? And then melt the cords from people going into all this junk. And then melt the baggage. Couple deep breaths. Again, have a copy of all your chakras. Lift out abundance baggage, healthy and gentle amount. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then melt cords from people going into all this baggage. And then melt the baggage. All right, one more time, just gold light for your chakras. You can do like a red earth energy soak for all your chakras. That's fine. You can bring up red earth energy straight from the core of the earth and soak all your chakras with red earth energy. Alrighty. Good job. Okay, so now we will do a bunch of things at one time. Basically back here, behind the head and at the base of the skull right there. And the whole, you know, like if you had a mohawk haircut, you know, so the mohawk hair right there. So that area, we'll do a special extra time there. So you can just comb through that whole area. I'm gonna bounce back and forth to one and the other. So right now I'm just doing that GV 15 to 20 part. So GV meridian, let's see. So that's the midline one that in the diagram it's gray, but red is a good energy color for all your meridians. But so that gray line that goes up, that's your GV meridian. So your GV meridian, governing vessel meridian, it helps to manage all your yang meridians. And so it starts in the crotch, goes up the midline of the back, and then hooks around and ends in the roof of the mouth. So you could heal the whole route if you want of your GV meridian. Unblock it at the crotch. Just comb through the whole thing with gold light. You can use red earth energy too for any of your meridians. Red earth energy through your GV meridian, gold light. And the natural direction of flow, you don't have to know that to heal any meridian, but because the little energy centers know the direction, but it's upward and then around your head for that meridian. So, and then the points that you can see, the base of skull points right there, the two that are close to each other, that's 15, then 16, then 17. 17 is the one level with the top of the earlobe. So 15, 16, 17, we can do those a little extra. So the energy centers in the meridian, you know, say the meridian's going up, right? So the energy centers fit right into it. So you can get energy, especially blocked up at the entrance of each of the chakras, little chakras. So especially unblock the entrance of each of the chakras. So right now I'm unblocking 15, 16, and 17, especially at the entrance. Please say angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with GV 15 to 20, can you please recycle them? So you can have energy blocks that kind of follow that line of GV 15 to 20, you know, in your auras. So if you comb outward, you kind of catch them and then say, hey, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into all these blocks, can you please recycle them? And then melt the people out of the energy blocks. Other people, if they're cording, melt those cords. And then you can just melt the blocks away. Or the blocks could be all your base of skull points right there, those two horizontal rows of points, one at the level of the top of the earlobe and one at the level of the bottom of the earlobe, basically. So those are base of skull points. So you can, what I call base of skull points. So you can comb through them, like go inside your head, comb outward through the auras behind your base of skull points and just gather up a healthy and gentle amount of energy blocks that you want to get rid of. And say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this, can you please recycle them? And then melt cords from people out of all this junk. Melt everybody. And then you can blow up the blocks or just keep melting them fully with gold light. Your hands. So again, comb through your base of skull area, comb outward into the auras, gather up all the junk that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? Deep breath, and then use gold light from your hands to melt the cords from people going into all this junk. Wash everybody out. And then the blocks will probably just melt then after that. Blow them up. You could also do direct little gentle massage in that area of your physical body, the base of skull area. And you can make a red grounding specifically. So going all the way down to the core of the earth, all the way up to the base of skull area. Red grounding, bring up red earth energy to soak your base of skull points extra. And if there are any invasive beings that just like kind of popped out when you did that, you say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings that popped out? And then can you recycle any invasive beings that are still in my base of skull area? So we could do just a teeny bit on the other meridians that go through that area. So there's the GV meridian right up the midline, which is a gray line in the diagram. And then there's the yellow line in the diagram is the urinary bladder meridian. So there's 2 branches of it. And then that branches off into 4 branches, which, how cool is that? But anyway, it starts in the inner corner of the eye, and then it goes, you know, over the head to the part that we can see in the diagram. So just use gold light and unblock those energy centers. And then the gallbladder meridian is that one in the diagram. It's like a blue-green line, and that direction of flow is also downward right there. So you can unblock those 2 gallbladder meridian points that are in the base of skull area. Well, there are 4, 2 on each side. So comb through all the base of skull points, drag out what's healthy and gentle to get rid of. Angels, here you go. Comb through. Angels, here you go. We could, just for kicks, also do a little bit of upper back while we're at it. Yeah. Gotta find. Yeah, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, that's definitely not what I wanted. There we go. Okay. So, upper back right there. So base of skull and upper back, that would be nice to be able to see all at once. Pull up the urinary bladder meridian video. So this is the urinary bladder meridian video right here. So yeah, that whole area is what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, that's good. Pretty much right there is what I meant. Annoying. Yeah. Okay, good enough. Right there. So urinary bladder meridian. I love where it branches off from 2 branches into 4 branches. And then how, like, when there's 4 branches, like, right away, the innermost ones go inward to that point right there, which is also right where a governing vessel meridian point is. That's very cool. So, we're just unblocking pretty much all the meridians that you see right there right now. Upper back ones, back base of skull ones right there. If you find some energy blocks, right now I'm doing the upper back right there in the center. Go ahead, comb through there, find some energy blocks. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then wash everybody out of the blocks, melt cords from other people, wash their energy out, wash your energy out. The blocks should melt away fully. If not, just blow them up at that point. Again, comb through your upper back area outward towards the auras, gather up all the junk, all the energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Melt cords from people. Wash everybody out of the energy blocks so that the blocks fully melt. And if they don't, just blow them up. All right, that's nice. So then we didn't do the good karma windows yet, so let's do that. So this doesn't show them, but it reminds you hopefully of this back area back here. So your good karma windows are back here in your astral body aura. Each of them is a triple frame window. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they're cool. If they're repaired and unblocked, you bring in your good stuff through them, and then bad stuff can't come through them. So you bring in your energy and allow like good karma, like benefits from the universe to come through. But then if they're repaired, then invasive energy can't come through, hopefully. So you just keep repairing them and unblocking them. Melting away hard objects, repairing damage, melting cords, having, as you say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into my good karma windows, can you please recycle them? You can also repair them as a composite copy, which I kind of think is cool. I've just started doing that recently. So you have 7 good karma windows, and healing them individually is cool too, because sometimes, one of them is particularly screwed. And so if you view all of them, maybe you can notice like, oh yeah, this one seems to be a real mess. And your 7th chakra one in particular, I guess, yeah, while we have them individual, let's do the 7th in particular and then the first one in particular. So your 7th one is the outermost one, right? And then the first layer one is the innermost one. And these good karma windows, you can use so much gold light that everything pops out that's not you, and everything gets repaired and unblocked. And then the first chakra good karma window, the first layer good karma window back here, and the back of the first, or astral body first layer. Use so much gold light that all the junk pops out and melts away. Angels, if there are any invasive beings in these areas, can you please recycle them? Okay, and then you could do a composite copy version of that. So all those 7 good karma windows, just view them as one, and repair and unblock them all at once. Lots of gold light, melt cords from people and invasive beings, melt hard objects. Okay, cool. All right, good enough. Good job. Did we do enough mowhawk area? Good comb. Yeah, we didn't do really. We did GV 15, 16, and 17. You know, the ones that are in the base of skull area, but we didn't do 18, 19, and 20. 20 is the one at the top of the head. There's another really cool one. So, like, GV20 is oriented this way in the top of your head, although it's much smaller than this. It's just in the meridian that's going this way, right? So, red is an ideal color for all these acupuncture points. And just melt away the blocks in them. You can lift out the energy blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of and melt them that way. Cold light, but you can melt them in place too. And then comb outward into that mohawk area, where if you had a mohawk hairdo, that's where your hair would be, right? And so comb out, get rid of all the hard objects in there, energy blocks, melt them away. If you have any invasive beings in that area, just kind of grip them, give them to your angels. Angels, can you recycle these? Angels, can you recycle these? And you can just check all your chakras, your major chakras along your spine, and just do a little bit of chakra alignment. Gold light up and down your spine so that your major chakras can click into alignment with each other. Couple deep breaths, wiggle your butt. Speaking of wiggling your butt. So let's see. Let's get a good image for your butt. Biker shorts. There we go. Ta-da! Oh, with glitter. Even better. So I saw this video recently. I don't know if it's true, but there's probably at least some truth to it. Maybe it's completely true though. If anyone's like a physical therapist or some kind of chiropractor or something, they could post. But the video said that your glutes, you know, your butt muscles, right? They're supposed to be the strongest muscle in your whole body. And that there are a lot of movements where you're supposed to use your glutes, you know, they're probably gluteus maximus, I guess, is the name for those butt muscles. And you're supposed to use your glutes like 70%, and then your hamstrings, which is like the back of your thighs right there, that muscle. I think it was like 20%, and then your lower back muscles like 10%. I forget which is 10 and which is 20. But the glutes, you're supposed to use 70%. And so they said that if you don't have strong enough glutes, then that overworks. The other muscles have to compensate. So your hamstrings in the back of your thighs and your upper back has to compensate too much. And that's how you can get back pain or hamstring, you know, excessive tightness in your lower back or your hamstrings. So I've told people to wiggle your butt for years now. So now there's extra, perhaps, scientific backing for for being extra aware and present in your glute and your and like flexing your glute muscles. In addition to just pure cosmetics of having good glutes. Fun fact, the treadmill that I have helps my butt. I don't know if that's only because it has an incline. It has like a, I don't know, 4% or 6% incline, something like that. So I don't know if that's why it helps the butt, or just a lot of walking in general helps the butt. I don't know. But anyway, a fun fact. But there's also like a stretch called a glute bridge, or an exercise called the glute bridge. You could Google it, look it up on YouTube, glute bridge. But that helps your butt muscles too. But this guy was saying it actually helps, like your hamstrings and your lower back and stuff. So it's not just like, your vanity reasons to work it. But let's go ahead and work the energy of it too, since I've already spent so much time on it, we may as well do some energy healing for it, right? We're gonna do your butt and your glutes. Okay, so we're gonna do the whole biker shorts area, which is whatever's covered by those biker shorts, and also the auras around it, all your auras. Oh, so fun. So just imagine a copy of this part of your body out in front of you with all your auras, and that part of your astral body too out in front of you, and comb through your biker shorts area outward to the auras and gather up a healthy and gentle amount of energy blocks that you want to get rid of. And just angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this junk, can you please recycle them? And then a couple deep breaths. And then just melt cords from people going into these blocks. Wash everybody out of the blocks so that the blocks can melt fully. And if they're not melting fully, just blow them up. And then again, comb through your biker shorts areas outward into your auras, gather up energy blocks in the way of flow. And just angels, can you recycle the invasive beings? And then just wash people out, melt cords from people out of all these blocks until the blocks melt. There you go. So just do a little bit of wiggling and stretching and flexing in your thighs and your pelvis and your glutes. So how about that? I love when vanity and spirituality come together. Isn't that nice? Okie doke. So that was an unexpected sidebar of butt, glutes, and then biker shorts area. But, kidding aside, fun aside, talking about sexy butts aside, being present in this area is really important. It helps you to have much more strength because, being in your lower two chakras as much as you can, or at least your innermost aura layers as much as you can, helps you to be really like steadfast, like strong and so if people throw energy at you, you're much less likely to be like disturbed by it, because you're much more rooted, much more better grounded and more present there. So important stuff. And also abundance, because your major chakras in that area is your first chakra and your second chakra. And like I said, first chakra is very much helping with abundance. So first chakra and second chakra are both in your biker shorts area. All right. So now good job. Oh, very funny. All right. Now, okay, so now we will do something I talked about as one of the main 3 things that we're doing today, which is to help you see angels better. We're going to unblock your screen area. And by screen, I mean clairvoyant screen, as in viewing screen, your viewing area. So maybe viewing area might be a better term. Maybe. I had to pick one word. So you sit in your 6th chakra and your 7th chakra. I mean, ideally you're in all your chakras, but there's extra energy of yours in your 6th behind your forehead and your 7th chakra beneath the top of your head, right? And then like that's your project. It's like you're in a movie theater, you know, and it's just a theater for one. This is not a public movie theater. Right? And you sit inside your 6th chakra, and your movie screen is your 6th layer out in front of you. Astral body and physical body 6th layer. And you don't really need the whole 6th layer, like the lower half for viewing. I mean, you need it for flow and just awesomeness, but the top half is mostly, you know, what you would need for your viewing. Top upper half, sometimes that's like viewing the future, and then top like straight ahead part is for viewing the present. But you know, you can view both straight ahead, that's fine. But this whole top half of your 6th layer, that's what you want. That's what we're going to work extra. We're going to unblock it, get rid of invasive beings, invasive devices, whatever, hard objects, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So let's do it, baby. All right. And the point of it, okay. And why I decided to do it in this healing, well, part of why we're doing it in this healing is so that you can see your angels even just subconsciously, so that you're more likely to accept help and healing and advice from your angels. Because if you can't see them even subconsciously on a spirit level, it might, you know, make you more phobic and distrusting of your angels. Whereas if you can see just subconsciously how awesome they are and pure and kind they are, then it's like a no-brainer to, of course, accept their assistance. I hope that makes sense. So let's do it finally. So just imagine your viewing area of both of your 6th layer astral body aura and 6th layer physical body aura. You can view both of them separately if you want and see, you know, maybe one is super black and one is super white or something. I mean, maybe that's interesting, but you can just clear them out both at the same time too. So you could use like gold sandstorm or gold fire, gold water, but something really assertive so that you're not just like, you have to be stronger than anything that's there, you know, so more strong-willed, more determined. Part of what happens with people getting crushed, maybe let's say by family members, is that maybe your mom is more strong-willed than you are. And so she's more determined to like control your life than you're determined to like own your life. So you need to be the most determined person in your space. Right? So sometimes that's why people pick, you know, strongly invasive family members, is because they need to learn how to really stand up for themselves on a spirit level. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, lots of cold light. Be assertive. Take no prisoners. And we're going to do your entire 6 layers, because otherwise, like, some invasive beings can kind of move over, you know, and get out of the way temporarily and just hang out in the back of your 6th layer that you're not working. So you can just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings with any access to my 6th layer, can you please recycle them? Check for, you know, weird cloudiness. Just say, angels, can you recycle these beings? Sometimes people's energy is very like fast moving, and sometimes it's very heavy, you know, like a heavy rock or something. It can seem like an energy block, but it's sort of more moving than that. But either way, gold light will melt it away. Even if it's a person, they'll pop out. If it's an invasive being, you might find it like move, you know, even though you use a lot of gold light, it's just kind of playing head games with you. So just have your angels recycle the being. And the bottom of your 6th layer of your auras, you want to make sure that is unblocked enough so that everything can release that needs to release down your groaning. So again, your vision area in front of your 6th layer, you can have blocks that are just in that area, you know, for people that are like, oh, look at me, you know, or something. So you can develop ways in which you're not so triggering to other people, because, you know, being clairvoyant, even subconsciously, is triggering to people. People have privacy concerns. They have shame. They have guilt. They have feelings of inadequacy. And if you're like big, you know, vision girl going, oh, I see you, you know, it's really fucking triggering to people sometimes. So you can develop more of like a park bench way of interacting with people, where you're both sitting on a park bench, as opposed to like a small table communication style where you're like staring into their soul every second. You know, some people like the staring into your soul kind of vibe, but, you know, there are many people that don't, or just some people during certain times in their life where they feel overly vulnerable or overly screwed up. You know, they might not want that. So rather than always triggering people with your like supervision gaze, you know, do the park bench thing. So that way they can chill out and not spend their time trying to block you up. Make sense? So if you need to learn more about park bench communication versus small table communication, you can search YouTube. I have 2 videos about it. Search Janet Wright, park bench communication. Find them. Anyway, so you may have, from times when you weren't quite so evolved and you didn't do park bench communication, you may have like big, you know, like sort of like a cast iron skillet, like really heavy things there trying to block your vision. So just, you can melt that stuff away. It can be from a past life too. So like you don't even interact with that person anymore, but the whatever barrier they put in your vision area is still there. You can go ahead and melt it away. Sometimes too, there are still invasive beings hooked into whatever you're trying to melt. So you can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this junk, can you please recycle them? And then wash all the people out. And then melt whatever object it is. Again, in your vision area, find some vision impeding big energy block or big device, And just surround it in lots of gold light. Say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into it, could you please recycle them? And wash cords from people out. And let it melt away, or you can blow it up. Again, we're unblocking your vision areas of your 6 layers. You might have like partial blockage of your vision area. Oh, great, my camera. Come on, camera. Still not happy. Right. Hey, all right. Okay, for like 1 more minute before I move my hands around. Anyway, you may have like partial blockage of your vision area. So you don't have like a nice big roomy vision area. Maybe you just have like a teeny little part because, you know, everybody's blocked up the rest of it and you've sort of tucked them away so you can have a little vision part. So you don't have to deal with that. You can have a big vision area. So just, you know, if there's anything that limits the size of your vision area, just melt it away with gold light. And again, this could help consciously your ability to see your own energy when you meditate, but it could help a lot subconsciously, like the ability to see a solution, the ability to see where someone's coming from, ability to, of course, like I said, see your angels and therefore accept their help more readily. So it's good stuff. There may be somebody that has specific energy blocks in your vision area and they cord into those blocks. So you can check like people that are kind of bossy that want to be in here. What energy blocks in your vision area did they cord? And specifically melt those blocks. Like find the blocks that people are getting in on into your vision area. And say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then melt the cords from people. And just use so much gold light, melt yourself out until the blocks melt fully, or blow it all up. All right. So you can do a little bit of chakra alignment again. Just imagine all your 7 chakras along your spine, your 7 astral body chakras, and your 7 physical body chakras, and just use so much gold light that they pop into place, pop into alignment with each other. Couple deep breaths, wiggle your butt. Little glute exercise there. All right, good job. That was unblocking your clairvoyant screen area or your viewing area, which is the front of both your astral body aura 6th layer and your physical body 6th layer, especially the upper half, which you use to view others and yourself. All right, good job, good job, good job. Do a little celebratory confetti. Woohoo, you're amazing. Good job. All right. Okay, so this is one of the other major things we're doing today that I announced. We're going to work the 7th chakras, both astral and physical, as well as your first chakras. So 7th chakra in the top of your head, ideal color for your 7th chakra is purple. The orientation of it is this way, round opening at the top and the bottom. And 7th chakra is good for confidence, certainty, and identity, inspiration, goals. And it generates your 7th layer of your aura, which is your first line of defense in your boundaries and in your auras. And then first chakra, we're going to do 2, and that's at the base of your spine. And you have 2 of them, astral body and physical body first chakras. And red is an ideal color for that. So red, orange, yellow, green, light blue, deep blue, purple is sort of the rainbow system you could use and set with your intention, set those chakras to those colors. It's kind of handy then, because then your aura becomes a rainbow and you can kind of see, wait, what's that doing there? You know, like, because you know what color should be where. But anyway, if you need a handout, you can see, you know, what each chakra is for and the ideal color and location. You could email me and ask for the free 2-page chakra handout, and I would give it to you. But anyway, so first chakra and 7th chakra, that's what we're going to be doing now. And this is the basic chakra shape. So 7th chakra is oriented this way. First chakra, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are oriented this way. All right, so let's do it. So we're just going to bounce around between 7th and first chakras. 7th chakras. So just make a copy out in front of you like this. Copy. Round opening, round opening. Use gold light. Unblock, especially the bottom of the 7th chakra. That seemed to be the most effective thing that I did when we did this work in the last healing, the healing 3 of triplet. And that's because energy flows up from the bottom of your 7th layer into your 7th chakra, and then upward, and then down through your 7th layer, and then all the way down to the bottom, and then your 7th chakra draws it all the way up. So it's like all the blocks along this route, which is your lower 7th chakra river. Some of the blocks just stay in different locations there, but a lot of them like go up to the 7th chakra and then get caught there right at the bottom. So melt away blocks at the bottom of your 7th chakras. A wardrobe change. Okay, so unblock the bottom of your 7th chakras. And the top of your 7th chakras, melt the blocks. And the upper 7th chakra river from the 7th chakra to the top of the 7th layer. Just think of the energy blocks there that are healthy and gentle to get rid of. And melt them away. So energy blocks in that upper 7th chakra river. Surround them in gold light. Melt cords. Melt the blocks. Come through your whole both 7th layers. All around. Unblock the bottom of your 7th layers, especially. You don't want any hardness at the bottom, especially at the bottom. Because you want to be able to release well down your grounding. You can have energy blocks wrapped around the outside of the 7th chakra, either just one side of it or all the way around. So check for that. And run gold light through the energy block or the device, whatever you want to call it. You say, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this junk, can you please recycle them? Melt cords from people. Blocks melt. They don't fully melt. You can take them off yourself. Give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? Angels, can you help me with that? All right, so then let's do your first chakra. So that was 7th. So that was 7th. So now we will do the first chakra. And so first chakra, the orientation, like I said, is this way. The round opening in the front. And then round opening in the back. So just imagine both your first chakras. And melt blocks. Set your first chakras to your favorite shade of red. You can bring up red earth energy and soak your first chakras with red earth energy. Just bring it up straight from the core of the earth. Soak your first chakras with red. Lots of gold light. You can absolutely have damage to your first chakra because when you're getting present, you get present, you come in from the top down. So your 7th, chances are, hopefully, is the strongest because you're there the most often. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So 1, you know, maybe there are some days where you're not there at all, or maybe you're never there at all. Your astral body first chakra isn't clicked in properly. So that kind of neglect can mean that, you know, maybe there was damage that you haven't fixed, or, you know, whatever. So just check out both your astral body and your physical body first chakra and melt away any hard objects that are stuck in there. And first chakra is for courage, safety, and abundance. So sometimes when people really want to try to intimidate you, they'll, you know, blow up your first chakra, you know, blast it with a lot of energy or throw some hard object there to damage it. And if it gets through all your auras, it can damage your first chakra, right? So, but, you know, repair is possible. So just melt away any hard objects that are near or sticking out of your first chakra. Both physical body and astral body. Just lift out the hard objects. Angels, here you go. Lift them out. Angels, here you go. So sometimes you can have your copy, you know, facing you and spin it around, or just like that, you know, whatever you need. Lots of gold light. You can too use like affirmations and that level of communication as you heal your first chakra. Because like I said, first chakra is safety, abundance, courage. So you could say like, you know, I am safe, you know, or I can receive abundance, you know, stuff like that. If you want, you know, to kind of reassure yourself and add to your healing effect. You can lift out the baggage that's healthy and gentle to get rid of and melt it away. Lift out the baggage, melt it away. Lift out the baggage. Angels, can you help me with this? Angels, can you help me with this? So you don't have to perfect your first chakra. The next section that we do will also work for chakra stuff as well. So don't worry if your first chakra is not perfect. We're just looking for a healthy and gentle level of progress. That's all. So drag out the junk, melt it away, drag out the junk, melt it away, or blow it up, drag out the junk, melt everybody else out of it, and then blow it up. Alrighty. So chakra filaments. So this is the filament part. Let's do all of them. So imagine your 7 physical body chakras and your 7 astral body chakras. Doesn't matter which side is on which, because the filaments connect them, right? So it connects 7 to 7, 6 to 6, 5 to 5, yada yada, right? So you want these filaments to be gold and flow. No, not gold. You heal them with gold, but they should be the color of energy that is running through them, which should be the color that you set the chakras to. So it would be the rainbow colors if you set your chakras to the rainbow colors. So purple, deep blue, light blue, green, orange, yellow, red, orange, yellow, green, deep blue, light blue, deep blue, purple. However you want to think of your rainbow. And just unblock the filaments, repair them. If you can't figure out, like, you're pretty thorough with your healing and you can't figure out how somebody keeps getting in your space, there could be like some weird devices that you don't notice in your filaments. And it could be that you don't notice them because everybody else in your family has those same devices. And so it's like, it's so normal for you, you've kind of visually tuned it out. You know, it's like sometimes in your house, you can see something every day and it's kind of like, it just doesn't register anymore. You don't notice it there. So you can just hunt for things that, you know, maybe everyone in your family has, you know, and blocks that everyone in your family has in your filaments, and just melt those especially. Sometimes too, if somebody is especially good at getting in your space, it could be that maybe everyone in their family has that same type of block as well. So it's like super easy for them. They're like, oh, look at those blocks, you know, and they roll right in. Whereas other people aren't used to that type of game, you know, they don't have those blocks there and their family doesn't. And so they wouldn't maybe think of doing such a thing. So again, just run gold light through all your chakra filaments, and especially, you know, like first chakra filament, you don't want it to seem tight or blackened or white or anything. You want that nice red from your chakras for your first chakras to be able to flow through. And technically you have crisscross filaments, but I'm not going to deal with that right now. You can just imagine the filaments as one flowy tube, but technically it's 2 flowy tubes for each chakra filament, but whatever. Viewing it as one is fine. You can just go through each one and unblock. And again, you know, intuitively look for, or with your intention, look for the blocks that have just been there forever so you don't even see them anymore. And just melt those especially. All right, good job. Okay, so that was a lot. First we did work on your 7th chakra, then we did work on your 1st chakra, and then we did work on unblocking and repairing the chakra filaments, especially removing devices that may have been there a long time and or your entire family has them, so you kind of forget about them. All right, good job. Okay, thanks for waiting. So let's do the third thing that I said was major that we're doing today, which is we're clearing baggage in the way of you being able to receive, because abundance is, I mean, it's receiving and also maintaining, but receiving is a big part of it. So being able to receive from your angels, from the universe, from other people, and receive meaning financially, but also like love and kindness and thoughtfulness and help, stuff like that. So can you receive? And so in order to grow in this area, you can kind of assume that there's stuff that people would like to do for you that's clean and beneficial, or the universe, and of course your angels. There's plenty that they could do for you, that they would like to do for you as far as healing and advice and support, but that you're blocked in receiving it. And so then you imagine what the blocks are and you clear them, right? So that would be you're clearing your receiving baggage. So let's do that. So imagine yourself and imagine like, we'll do it all at once. So receiving from the universe, receiving from people, receiving from your angels. We're imagining all the good beneficial things that are, are clean and healthy that you could receive from people, angels, the universe, right? And just imagine that. You can imagine them as a bunch of like floating flower petals if you want, or floating flowers, or something nice, maybe some butterflies or whatever, right? And you want to be able to receive all that benefit. You could imagine them as, gold confetti. Is, representative of all the good things that you could receive cleanly, that is sort of these, the universe and or the angels and or people want to offer you, right? And so imagine if you have any energy that you have sort of holding, preventing that, just imagine that as like a wall of baggage in between you and the angels and or the people and or the universe, and just melt your wall of baggage. You can say too, angels, if there are any invasive beings hooked into this baggage, can you please recycle them? Deep breath. And then, just melt people's cords and energy out of all this baggage, this wall of baggage that's blocking you from being able to receive benefits. And just keep melting it. Melt everybody out. And melt yourself out, your own resistance, your own fears. And the wall should probably melt fully that way, but if not, you can just blow up the rest of it. And if any of it's still there, just say, angels, can you help me with this? Okay, so let's do that again. Imagine yourself, and then imagine all sorts of goodness that the universe and or your angels and some well-intentioned people would like to offer you. Sorry about my camera. There we go. So there's yourself, and there's, you know, people and angels in the universe and beneficial things they're trying to offer you. You can imagine that as gold glitter if you want, or flower petals or whatever. And imagine, you know, if you are blocking it, imagine all your baggage that's causing you to block it, which a lot of times is fears, but it could be other things too. Just imagine all that baggage and start running gold light through it. Just say, angels, if there's any invasive beings hooked into all this baggage, can you please recycle them? Deep breath while your angels do that. And then just keep using gold light, melt people's cords, melt your energy out, melt everybody's energy out. And that should start the wall melting away. And it can melt fully that way, or you could blow it up. Couple deep breaths, breathe into your shoulders and your hips and your knees, all your tree trunk areas. Oh my God. Like every other second, it's unfocused. So like I said, breathe into your tree trunk areas, which is all your major, the major joints like shoulders, elbows, wrists, shoulders, hips, knees, ankles. Breathe into those areas, breathe into your spine. Alrighty, righty. You can also have baggage that's, it's like you're just so, from some time period where you were sure that you didn't deserve to receive, or, you know, it wasn't safe to receive, something like that. And so you've kind of made a rule for yourself, that you just can't receive, you know, like you can't trust people, or you can't trust, you know, the universe. The universe is always, you know, terrible and awful and whatever. So it's really basically just more receiving baggage that we're clearing, but anything that's just so solidified that, you know, it's like you were sure in some lifetime that, you know, it was terrible to receive, you know. And so just, you know, all that sort of more like hardened baggage that has been reinforced by you over lifetimes, you know, all your receiving baggage. You can imagine it like, you know, put it in boxes or put it in a big dumpster, or just lay it out in front of you and just start running gold light through all this receiving baggage that you have left over. And again, baggage isn't going to do you any good. Baggage is not wisdom. You know, you can keep the wisdom. You know, maybe you were betrayed, you know, a whole bunch of times, or you were tricked or whatever. And so you want that wisdom. But if you keep the baggage, it's not actually going to make you smarter. It's just going to screw you over more. So then it's like that terrible event continues to harm you, right? And so it's bad enough that it harmed you in the first place. You don't need to keep the pain and the blockages, right? If you let go of them, then you just have the wisdom and the life experience, so you can get stronger, right? So just get rid of all this junk from any negative times, or any way that you were just sure that receiving is not good, right? So just melt all that baggage, all the pain, all the trauma, junk, guilt, whatever it is. And if you have any that's not melting, just wrap it up in gold and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Can you help me with this? Deep breath, breathe into all your major joints. So then an extra kind of baggage that you might have is like feeling like you could have had lifetimes where you were in a very hierarchical society. And maybe there were people that were, more spiritual than you. Or more virtuous than you felt or whatever. And so maybe you felt like, well, you don't deserve to receive from your angels as much because you're not a good person or you're not as good as these other people. So that's kind of silly. I mean, your angels, if you really don't deserve a level of angel help, they're not going to offer it, right? So you don't need to, purposefully hold yourself back with your angels. If they're offering help, that's because it's good to receive it, right? So, but you might have some of that kind of hierarchical shame, self-shame kind of stuff. Like maybe initially it came from other people, but now by keeping it in your space, you're pretty much, holding on to it, right? So we don't want to do that, right? So just put out in front of you anything that makes you feel not worthy, anything that makes you feel ashamed or that you should, you have to suffer. You can put all that out in front of you. And you can say, angels, can you double check all this, in case there's something that, maybe shouldn't be removed. Just say, angels, can you double check all that? So then anything that's still there is okay to clear, right? And so go ahead and just melt all that away, all the baggage that limits you, limits your ability to receive from your angels or from the universe or from, helpful people. All right, good job. Woohoo! Yay. There's some butterflies to celebrate. Yay, good job, good job. Ah, cute. All righty. Speaking of cute, let's change our scenery a little bit. That one's nice, but the one I really have in mind is this one. Let's see. There we go. Hmm. So cute. Okay, cool. Little cutie pies. All right. So now what? Oh, yeah. Okay. So your sinuses, your fourth chakra is in the center of your chest. And it's like your feel good chakra. It's the one that gets, a little more flow in it if you do look at something cute. It has to do with motivation, all sorts of good stuff. We're working a lot next month. So anyway, and being able to breathe in and not feel like tightness right there, even physically, because sometimes just a a messed up fourth chakra can cause a physical tightness or contribute to a physical tightness. So we're going to work all that as well as your sinuses. So your respiratory system as well as just physical tightness and your auras in front of there. That's what we're. So let's do it. Doing is kind of in the way there. Okay, good enough. All right, so just make a copy out in front of you and start healing this area. Scoop through like your front chest area, just scoop through all that. Make a copy out in front of you, or you could do it this way, but I don't know. I find that, I mean, I have a microphone in front of me, so that's very awkward for me, but I like copies out in front, but however you want to do it. Scoop out the baggage, drag it out front. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Deep breath, and then melt everybody out, melt cords, melt everybody out, including yourself, out of these blocks, and then melt the blocks themselves with gold light from your hands. Right. Right. So again, our theme is abundance, and a big part of abundance is being able to receive. Maybe most of abundance is being able to receive. So inhaling, breathing in is, you know, metaphorically and literally a big way that you receive. So if you have tightness, right, in your sinuses and or your lungs, you know, it can relate to spiritual stuff as well, not just physical discomfort. So comb through your sinuses and your chest and drag out what's healthy and gentle to get rid of. All those blocks, just kind of freeze them in place and use a lot of gold light. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into all this junk? And then lots of gold light. And melt everybody out, melt the cords out of all these blocks. And just let the blocks fully melt. If they don't fully melt, just give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? So then again, you can do local healing on your sinuses and your chest area if you want. But I'm going to use a copy most of the time myself. Sinuses, in case you need to look at it, I will momentarily go to that. I can find it. There we go. Sinuses. So those are your sinus cavities. Sinus cavities are hollow parts of bones that you have, which is kind of cool. So in those hollow parts of different bones, those are sinus cavities. And then you have the nasal cavity, which is a bigger area, you know, that's just open, you know, like in from your nostrils there, that's your sinus, your nasal cavity. But the sinus cavities are actually hollow parts of bones. So, and, you know, as the diagram shows, you have, you know, some in your forehead, you have even the sphenoid sinuses, that's like behind your, somewhat behind your eye, like a little maybe lower than that, but it's back there in your head, you know, because your sphenoid bone goes from here to here behind your eyeballs, you know, so your sinuses are all over. They're very cool. And sinuses help with telepathy, nonverbal communication, but also, yeah, I would say spiritually, that's probably the biggest thing they help with. Really comb outward from your sinuses and your lung, chest area. Drag out whatever's not you that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. Which is going to be mostly blocks, but then there could be some invasive beings. So say, angels, can you recycle these invasive beings? And then just use so much gold light and melt the blocks. Melt cords going into the blocks from other people. Wash everybody out so that the blocks melt. If they don't melt, you can blow them up, or you can give them to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? Go back to the kittens for a little fourth chakra inspiration. So fourth chakra, we could, I guess, specifically do fourth chakra. Again, it's a big, one of your major 7 energy centers along your spine, round opening in the front of your chest and in the back of your, behind your chest. So round opening in the front and the back. You can just imagine both your fourth chakras. You have your astral fourth chakra and your physical fourth chakra. You can unblock them both at the same time. Sometimes you have tightness that won't go away because there's some damage to one of the fourth chakras, and so invasive energy from people or beings or energy blocks, they're much harder to clear if the chakra itself is damaged. It's like easier for invasive energy to just kind of latch on more strongly. So that's why we always unblock and repair, and then unblock and repair again, and unblock and repair again. So drag out the junk from around the round openings. Angels, here you go. Drag out the junk. Angels, here you go. Do extra repair. Your fourth chakra rivers in front and in back. So it's just where the energy flows, your energy from your fourth layer goes into your fourth chakra. So that's your front fourth chakra river, this flow area. And then the back fourth chakra river is from the back of the fourth chakra to the back of the fourth layer. Right? So front fourth chakra river goes in this way, back fourth chakra river goes this way. And then the energy wraps all around the fourth layer to the front and then goes in again, right? So you can unblock both your fourth chakra rivers. And again, like I said in an earlier section, sometimes when we're doing filaments, sometimes you don't really see a block because you're so used to it. It's been there maybe for several lifetimes, or maybe everyone in your family is blocked up the same way. So just try to train your imagination to kind of notice, like, okay, well, what block, like say in front of your fourth, in your fourth chakra river, the front one, or right in the front of your fourth layer, what block has been there so long I barely even noticed it, and just melt that one. Surround that one with gold light. Say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this? And then melt cords from people going into it. Wash everybody out so that the block clears. Again, fourth chakra is enthusiasm, motivation, passion, feeling good, glass half full perspective. Self-esteem, self-love. Again, comb through your sinuses and your chest. Outward, drag out any junk that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Melt cords from people, melt everybody out, melt yourself out so that the blocks fully melt. Or you can blow them up. All right, good job, good job. Okay, so we are going to, I think this will probably be the last thing that we do before wrapping up. You can unblock your spiritual path, and your spiritual path is it's a road that's just for you in this lifetime, and it represents what you're meant to learn and experience in this lifetime. And it is just for you. However, doesn't keep people from wanting to pile onto it or dump on it or whatever. But you can clear off everybody's junk and just have it be for you and have it be enjoyable. So you can learn and experience things you're meant to experience, but like enjoy the journey type idea. And maybe have more consistent progress, not like stopping for long periods. So you can unblock your spiritual path just in general, which helps everything. Or you could imagine a spiritual path that just represents your progress with abundance and see if you're on the path, see if you're facing forward, are you moving forward? And so that way you just work one issue in particular. So you could do that with love life, with career, with abundance, with like just overall social interaction, being able to have positive social interactions with other people. Whatever your little side issue, your specific issue is, you could imagine a subset of your spiritual path that's only for that issue, and then see if it's blocked, block it, and if you can move forward, see if you're dragging junk behind you that you don't need to, and just melt that. So whatever. So we're going to first unblock your spiritual path in general, and then we'll unblock it for abundance. So first we'll do in general. Okay, so just imagine yourself, and then imagine your spiritual path, so road just for you. And are you even on your path? Because you could be on a side road, kind of lost. So are you on your spiritual path in general in this lifetime? And if you're not on it, if you're on a side road, just say, angels, can you help me get back on my spiritual path? And if you're at all in doubt, that doesn't hurt to say that anyway. Angels, can you help me be on my spiritual path? Deep breath. So then presumably, if you weren't on it, your angels have helped you to get back on your spiritual path. And just check out, is it unblocked ahead of you? Because you want to be able to walk forward at a nice, smooth, steady rate. And if there's a whole bunch of boulders in front of you, it can be, confusing and discouraging and it's hard, right? So just melt away the junk in front of you on your path. It could be, invasive junk that people have dumped there. It could be actual people. There could be invasive beings on your path. You could just say, angels, if there are any invasive beings on my spiritual path, can you recycle them? Your spiritual path has like a gold sort of boundary around it, sort of like a big gold tunnel, but like really big and roomy, so it doesn't feel like a tunnel, but it's like, protective force field, let's say, around your spiritual path. But it can have holes knocked into it, that protective force field, which obviously is not good, and it makes it easier for beings and people to get on your path. So just check out that gold protective force field around your spiritual path, behind you and around you and ahead of you on your spiritual path. And just, it's like an aura healing sort of, for that gold protective force field around your spiritual path, and just repair it. All right. And check to see if you're like lugging anything heavy, that's unnecessary to drag forward with you on your path. It could be some emotional baggage that, is just weighing you down that you're actually ready to get rid of, so you can just melt it away. Could be some fears that people dumped in your space, just whatever heavy junk you're dragging along behind you as you try to move forward on your path, just melt that away. You want to move forward at a nice, pleasingly fast rate for yourself, so you're satisfied with your progress. Again, imagine any blocks ahead of you that are slowing your forward progress and just melt them away. And you can give a healing to yourself on your spiritual path, like, because maybe you're overwhelmed and you're just sort of sitting down on a bench by the side of your path and you're sort of, have your head in your hands. So if that's the case, just, give yourself a nice gentle healing, lots of gold light. Say, hi, it's okay, it's okay. Just let yourself get a healing and rest so that you can get your bearings again, be ready to move forward. And, even if you are already moving forward, a nice little healing is always good. Gold light, just reassure yourself. You can validate yourself like, hey, good job, good job. All right. So then we'll do an abundance spiritual path unblocking. So I guess I'll do that in all caps so it's more noticeable. Okay, so imagine sort of a subset of your spiritual path that is only the abundance related stuff. And so this is your spiritual path. It's just for you, but it relates to your abundance. And see, are you on your spiritual path or are you lost on a side road? And if you're lost on a side road, just ask your angels. Say angels, specifically angels, not like anybody out there help me, because it could be some invasive stuff that volunteers that you don't want, right? So just say angels, can you please help me get back on my path for abundance? And then just imagine this spiritual path that just relates to your abundance, your spiritual path that just relates to your abundance. And just try to imagine it how it is, not how you think it should be, right? And so how is it really? And maybe there are barriers there that are unhealthy and you can just melt those away. And again, you can have a gold flowy protective force field around your spiritual path. That's just your energy at gold. But you might have other people's energy wrapped around your abundance path. Like maybe somebody thought they were protecting you, like a parent or something, but then they never stopped with that first chakra energy. So you could have somebody else's protective force field around your abundance path, which is in the way and blocking you. So you can just say, angels, can you help me to just have this path for myself? As you melt away all that junk from other people around your abundance path. And you might be receiving abundance assistance from somebody. Like maybe you live in a house that, your dad pays for you, or you live, say your partner makes more money than you do in the marriage or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like washing them off your abundance path would not destroy that receiving potential for you, but it could help you to just have less fear and worry and feel safer. And so it could help you in other first chakra ways, and it could help you to manifest some other receiving situations in addition. It wouldn't destroy anything by washing other people's energy off of your abundance path. So just wash everybody off, just use lots of gold light, especially if their energy is wrapped around your protective force field of your abundance spiritual path. Wash that off, so you just want your own gold flowy force field of your energy. And you could be dragging heavy, weird stuff behind you as you try to move forward on your abundance path. So just melt all that heavy, weird stuff. If it's not melting, just wrap it in gold light. Give it to your angels. Angels, can you help me with this? Angels, can you help me with this? For example, you may have taken on copies of some burdens that, say, your parents have or your parents had when you were growing up. or a sibling or a parent from a past life. So you can look at yourself as you move forward on this abundance spiritual path of yours, or maybe you don't move forward, you're just standing there. But maybe you have a burden that you like, it's somebody else, it's a copy of somebody else's burden. Maybe it looks like, ankle bracelets or, some big heavy thing on your shoulders. So other people's burdens that impact your abundance and you on your abundance path. So just run gold light through other people's burdens and melt them away. Run gold light through your copy of other people's burdens so that they melt away. Maybe not in this life. Maybe in this life. But hierarchies can get in the way of abundance and receiving. So they don't have to though, but they can if you like internalize them in an unhealthy way. So, for example, you may have had an invasive boss in your life or in a past life, so that you feel like, well, they get to be more abundant than you do. Or maybe there was like a professional hierarchy where, you had a certain amount of training and someone else had more. So like society thinks that they should have more abundance than you. And maybe you internalize that as like a burden, as like a restriction on a limitation on your abundance. So just as you heal yourself and you're unblocking your path, go ahead and melt away any hierarchy, abundance limitations that are unhealthy for you, that maybe you took on, in this life or a past life. So any hierarchy related abundance limits, just melt those off of yourself and off of your path. All right, good job, good job. Woohoo! Yay! Great job. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up now. So just imagine a copy of your everything out in front of you, all your 17 auras, and then your physical body and your astral body are inside there, and both your groundings connect you to the core of the earth. Well, one connects your astral body system to the core of the earth, and one connects your physical body system to the core of the earth. And just comb through with gold light from your hands and wash everybody out. Melt cords from everybody. Melt baggage that everybody's hooked into. You want to be flowy, flowy, flowy. Unblock above your head in your auras and then above the top of your auras. Unblock all that. You can unblock like directly above the top of your auras, but also in back above the top. Mm. And again, we can do a quick repeat of that section that we did about receiving beneficial gifts and offerings from angels and the universe and people. You can imagine yourself, and you could imagine the people, the people in the universe and the angels that are trying to give to you, or just imagine whatever beneficial, healthy things they're trying to give you as, flower petals or gold glitter or whatever you want. And then just, if you have any baggage preventing those clean, healthy gifts from being received by you, just melt the baggage in the way. And you can say too, if you're still kind of fearful of what you would be receiving, just say, angels, can you double check all this that I could receive and make sure it's all healthy for me? And then just melt the baggage in the way, the fear, the shame, whatever it is that makes you feel like, no, it can't happen. Melt all that away. Okay, good job. A little bit of quick chakra alignment. Just imagine all your major chakras along your spine. Use gold light so they click into alignment with each other. Again, chakra filaments between physical 7 and astral 7 chakras. Run gold light through those. Unblock your grounding. Grounding is plural. Redo your gold buffer zones. All right. Good job, good job. You're amazing. Woohoo! Yay! That's a healing. Yay. 2 more beach. Beachy beach. Oh. Mm. Okay, so let's do a quick bathroom break, and then I'll come back and we'll do a little quick stretch break that is not guided. You just do your own stretching if you want. And then we'll do a 30-minute post-healing chat, which is mostly self-assessment validation. So, or comments about the healing, how the healing was for you, how you're doing right now, how any comments you have about the theme abundance, stuff like that. But first, let's do a bathroom break. Oh, and I'll get rid of the camera so you don't have to stare at an empty chair, which is kind of weird. There we go. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I don't know if seeing someone else stretch inspires you to stretch, but maybe it does. So I'm gonna just, I want to stretch anyway after sitting for so long. So I'll stretch for about a minute, and then we'll do the post-healing little chat moment. Alrighty, I'm back. Okie doke. Oh, I'll set my timer for 30 minutes so that I don't go overboard. Da, 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 da. Okay. Now I'm looking for the comments that I missed. Someone says they do strategic gardening in Oregon. No, in Las Vegas because of all the 100-degree days, over 100 degrees, 100 degrees or more every year. 100 days of 100 degrees or more every year. That's wild. Well, good luck. Was this, hello, everyone just arrived. Gold is the way. Someone says my physical therapy has me do glute strengthening to help my tarsal tunnel and plantar fasciitis. So your foot issues. That's kind of cool. Interesting. Someone says getting Kylie Minogue on us. Don't really know what that means. Sorry. Kylie Minogue. Kylie Minogue. Maybe I'll Google that later. Yeah, no idea what that is. It says huge healing today. Thank you, Janet. I feel better. Oh, good. needed to self-heal every day or repair tree trunk areas, which are the major joints, and above the head. Cleared devices, 7th chakra, sinuses in 5th chakra. Self-assessment is it's helping less tree trunk in the center of my body, but still some invasive energy on the sides of abundance hips at night. Think I got an angel download of information early Wednesday sometime between 1 and 5 a.m., which I received, but since there was invasive energy in my space too, I was a little confused. Any other angel advice to tweak what I'm doing? You had written some of that in your post-healing survey, since the last set. So, when I reviewed it, it occurred to me, I'm wondering if you're just doing the same thing every time, or if in the moment you're using your intuition as well. Because, sometimes things can be unique that haven't happened in that way before. So I guess it is good to, prepare maybe, because if you feel off, maybe your intuition isn't as good, but you could do a little tweaking each time, and say, well, I think I need more of this or more of that. I did notice you were part of the inspiration for doing the filament work that we did. The part about that you could have blocks or devices in your chakra filaments between astral and physical chakras that maybe you don't see because other people in your multiple other family members have the same blocks. And then that invasive people that are particularly good at getting in your space, maybe their family has the same type of blocks in their filaments. So it's like super obvious for them to be like, oh, there's the open door. Let me go in right there. So that you were one of the people for whom that was definitely the case, that, that just some hard objects in your chakra filaments that you weren't picking up on and noticing, that certain people that you work with, it's like particularly easy for them to see because they have the similar issue. Also, I noticed, when I was looking at your survey stuff that you were writing, that sometimes in your office conflict situations, you're disregarding hierarchies that are real. Like, for example, in an office, there could be one person that's the head of the office, and they hire people and fire people and pay the bills, and the buck stops with them, kind of a thing. And so other people work for them. So there's that hierarchy. And sometimes you, as someone who works for them, you have very strong views on how the workplace should be run, but it's not you don't have that top dog position, but you kind of take it, or you try to take it. And the problem with that, is like karmically, there's no agreement for you to be in charge and for you to set the tone of the whole place. So it's kind of a karmic overstep, which is technically bad karma. But then also too, like, if you get your ass handed to you because people punish you for it, then your angels don't fully protect you because you're overstepping where you should be stepping, So you can imagine, like, okay, well, you can imagine like an area. Okay, well, I should stay in this area. This is my, stay in your lane, that expression, this is my area, in that workplace as far as authority. And am I stepping outside of that, and trying to do stuff that is not karmically agreed upon as okay, like, and just, try to clear the baggage so that you can be a participant. If you're not in charge, you're not in charge. You're in charge of yourself, you're in charge of your path, all that good stuff. But I think sometimes you get confused, and you have such strong views about how an organization should run, but you're not in charge of that organization. And so then you tend to get, kind of, it's almost like a passive aggressive, where you try to make changes that is beyond your authority level. So maybe just reflect upon that, clear some baggage about that, so that you're not getting yourself into trouble karmically, and kind of like going outside of the scope of what your angels will back you up on. So hope that makes sense. hierarchies. All right. So, someone says, thank you, Janet. I felt the 7th and 1st chakra work intensely in a good way, like being unclogged. Oh, that's nice. Lately, I'm having the worst time working at home and also working on my hobbies. I just want to zone out on my phone. This looks to be caused by blocked grounding and a lot of rad blocks I'm ignoring, especially in my home office. How did I do? Okay, so you posted a self-assessment, which is good. I prefer that rather than just being like, Janet, fix me. That's not very empowering. Okay, so your issue is you're focused at home and you tend to overdo the phone stuff, the goofing off part. So your self-assessment on the reason is that your grounding gets blocked and there's baggage that you're avoiding. Yeah. I think also it's a boundaries issue. Like you're seeing that your grounding gets blocked and that you're stuck on some baggage, but I think if you washed your mom and your sister out of your space, then it wouldn't be that hard for you to keep your grounding flowing and, clear stuff dynamically. I think that your sister and your mother kind of see that if you get good at working from home, it'll add to your confidence about getting a new job, and moving. So it's like there's just a couple learning check boxes that you're trying to learn before you just, go ahead and finish manifesting your new job and your move and everything. And they're like in your space, kind of, keeping you sort of plateaued on your progress. So I would just say, add clearing them out of your space. And then I think it wouldn't be so oddly hard to, keep your grounding clear while you're working. Also, your angels are talking about healthy structure, like, maybe, lock your phone away in a box, for, from certain time till certain time, and I think that stepping away to clear energy can be valid, but you can like plan ahead of time what you're allowed to do when you step away from your work. Like, are you allowed, you're allowed to go to the kitchen and get a new beverage, or you're allowed to, sit down and do stretching, or you're allowed to, because there can be some things that are just a little too dangerous, like the scrolling on the phone. It's just like, because doom scrolling, literally, like the way they put it all, it's literally, they've done studies on what makes you want to do it more and more and more, and it's how it like scrolls down everything. Like they've studied that. So like, why play with fire? If you have trouble having discipline with your phone, then that's not an appropriate break for you, or you could just take off the social media stuff off your phone. I mean, that's no fun, but maybe just put your phone away and don't let yourself touch your phone. But like think of what is a good step away thing that doesn't lead to, doing it forever. Like maybe you walk around the block, you allow yourself one walk around the block, or you allow yourself, 5 minutes of stretching, or you allow yourself to listen to 3 different songs, just pre-plan your breaks so that they actually are restorative, and then you can get back to work. So, but yeah, I think your self-assessment is like 80% there. It's just that the whole mom and sister thing and the bigger picture about it, you missed, and to the, some kind of, that you need you do like step away things, but you have to figure out safe, healthy, manageable step away activities. Okay. Hope that helps. Someone says, thank you. I feel like I was resistant with the healing and have had a headache, sinus pressure in front of my 7th. If I were to see, I think I have a bunch of objects, spheres from the hubby. I will do some sticky wax and have some bench conversation with him. Oh, that sounds great. So the issue is you were resistant during the healing and you have headache, sinus pressure in front of your 7th chakra. So that's the issue, that you're kind of like not really getting into the healing and you feel discomfort there. So the assessment is that it's your husband. Boundary issues with your husband. Yeah, I would say that's largely true. So the question then is, okay, so does your husband have a problem with you listening to these healings just because he doesn't want you to clear energy? Or is it that somehow you're resetting the energy of the house in a way that's uncomfortable for him during the healing? And it seems like it's the latter, that somehow what you're doing is resetting the energy of the house, which is freaking him out. So then he's trying to just get you to do something that doesn't trigger him so much instead of watching the healing. So maybe just imagine yourself and imagine the house and just separate, make sure your energy is separate from the house. Like you're in the house, but you're not, just say, angels, can you clean up my house for me? And just like kind of hand it to your angels temporarily. So you're not, because it looks like you kind of make your aura really big and your grounding really big in the house. And then it's like weird for him. Like, I don't know if you physically are both at home right now, but it looks like either way, it's just really triggering for him when you put your energy, like you make it real big. A lot of women can do that. It's not a good thing, but it's sort of a girl thing, more common with women. Anyway, yeah, just maybe you work your boundaries with him more and your boundaries with the home more, so that he can ignore you better. But it does look like your solution of park bench helped somewhat, and he realized, like, okay, you weren't trying to control him or something. He's a little bit fearful of you trying to control him. All right. I hope that helps. Someone says, hi, Janet, just joined. I'm so glad you sent out an email. Thanks so much. You're welcome. Oh, you mean an email for the people I'm healing? And yes, you are I'm healing you, so you got an email. That's right. What did I miss? You don't have to go over all of it, but what's the topic? Yeah, so the topic for the healing is abundance, which I put in the email. So hope that makes sense. Generally, too, whatever I'm working on is right in the banner. So you just look at the banner and what the banner says, and that's what I'm working on. So like, and the specific sub thing is in the banner at the bottom of the screen. Someone says, so fun watching the background change. Kittens, cuteness, heart chakra, excellent connectivity. Sometimes I get too involved in the healing work. The background changes really help give me a brain break. Yeah, like a little energy shift. This allows me to do more healthy, gentle healing work with you. Interesting. Well, good. Glad you like it. Speaking of which, no, I'll keep it. thinking maybe I'd change it now, but I kind of like it right now. Someone did cute emojis. Thank you. Someone says, thanks. I felt angry during the mowhawk area clearing. So mowhawk area clearing. Feel just a bit annoyed right now about abundance. I intuit clearing guilt would help me. And then you ask about your spouse. Very jam-packed comment here. I wonder if he's off to the side on his career path. All right, well, that's like impressive how few words, but how many issues are in that one post. So, okay, so you have the issue that you felt annoyed, and it's a little bit better now, but not totally. I don't know that you did a self-assessment on that. That's just a comment, maybe. But then you say about abundance, you think clearing guilt would help. I think in general, that's true for everybody. Is your, I mean, first of all, abundance is not a huge problem for you personally. I think it's more a problem when you see loved ones that have a problem with abundance. And that's what kind of trips you up. But you personally are, I mean, you can always get better, but you're pretty strong with abundance, personally. So you personally, as far as abundance, if you look at, like, you know how we did that receiving baggage, so is a lot of your receiving baggage guilt? Maybe like 30% of it's guilt, and then a bunch of it's past life stuff, past life conflict, like fights over money from different past life families and past life relationships. That's interesting. Money related interpersonal conflicts from past lives. That's interesting. So that would be great to clear for you. That could help you in the present, maybe. That's cool. So, as far as your spouse, so so it's not wrong that clearing guilt will help your abundance. But just in general, clearing any abundance baggage is good. You don't have to know what it is, but then it does seem like a lot of it's past life relationship kind of conflicts over abundance with family members and partners. And then your spouse, who I'm also healing, you're thinking of his career path, he's off to one side. Yeah, he takes breaks, but then he moves forward again. His angels do like this healing for him. They think he did good. He's still working on a lot, but yeah, they give me a thumbs up. But but I guess that whole idea of, you know, what triggers within you when you see your spouse's abundance issues. Because I think that's it's like it triggers a lot of fear for you when you see your abundance spouse's issues, kind of like that they're going to ruin your abundance. But I don't think that energy-wise that's as possible as you think it is. I mean, I know, like, legally, whatever, you know, you get debt from your spouse, blah, 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 whatever, potentially legally, blah, blah, blah. But I think, you know, you can talk to your angels about that. I think there's more zen that you could be more zen about it. You could be more you could access your wisdom more about it and be less stuck in fear about it. There's a lot of fear that you have triggered about it. But part of that's because you have so much past life baggage that you haven't yet cleared about, you know, interpersonal conflicts related to abundance. So I think that's more an area that you could work. You know, just baggage around other people's abundance baggage. I hope that helps. Someone says dog encouragement while stretching. How beautiful. Dog encouragement. Oh, was he doing, my dog was doing something at the same time. Yeah, he was, he wanted me to pet him, basically. Someone says, I liked learning that there is a gold boundary tunnel buffer zone type thing around the spiritual path. Yes. A protective force field. Yes. I had not seen that. Feels safer now, more cozy. Yeah, it's nice. Because if that gets ripped up, it's like, it's a lot easier for people to be invasive on your path and invasive beings and all sorts of drama. So yeah, it's nice. I'm glad that that made sense to you. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thank you for the healing. I'm sorry I'm not able to self-assess at the moment. So what I would say with that is give me a guess. Okay? Because your guessing is probably more on target than you think. And either way, it's like illustrative of something generally if you guess. So just, you could say, you know, here's my guess at self-assessment, something like that, you know. So, but be bold enough to guess, you know, like intuition is going to feel like guessing when you're really stuck. So just guess, and post that, next time. But anyway, so you're saying your mother-in-law is in town. Dun, 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 the mother-in-law, La Suegra. My mother-in-law is in town. That's a Spanish for mother-in-law. I've got my littlest one's birthday today and graduation, and my stress level is high. Is that all? Sick with my hives and illness also. Yes, there's that. Is that all? So, okay, so we can't fix that your mother-in-law's in town, right? We can't fix that it's your child's birthday and graduation. Stress level, maybe that's an issue that you were posting about. The hives and the illness, we can't exactly fix that. I mean, I think the stress, if we could work on that. So I guess your question is what to do about your stress, what to do to lower your stress. You in the past have done that technique. What is that? Empty unprocessed stress pots, but they're pretty good right now, actually. So that's not it. I think some of your Wei Qi auras aren't repairing properly. Because it looks like in front, it looks like as if like everybody's throwing like, you know, when socks are clean and then some people like roll up their socks like into a ball before they put them in the drawer. I don't know if you've ever done that. But it looks like you're standing there and like all your loved ones are like throwing rolled up socks at you. Like little sock balls at you. And you're like, and it's very disorienting. But it looks like you just like 3 or 4 of your Wei Qi auras in the front are like large portions of them are missing. So it's like everything is too internal. Like it's coming too much into your mind and your front of your chakras. So I would just say work more on Wei Qi aura repair. Like clean out the ripped parts, you know, the scar valleys and stuff, you know, just imagine the rip gashes in your Wei Qi auras so that they can, because even if like 2 or 3 more like repair, it's just, it feels better and better and better and better and better. So I would just say, yeah, work on Wei Qi aura repair more. And just isolate the ones that are ripped. So like rather than all 15 of your Wei Qi auras plus your astral body plus your physical body, just be like, okay, well, this is a copy of any of my auras that are ripped right now, right? And then just, you know, see if you can kind of guess, you know, and see like, oh yeah, it's in front right by my face, you know, and so then just work that. I think composite copy technique, your angels are like they're hoping that you just work more with your guessing, you know, like that it's going to feel like guessing, but just do it anyway. And just, you know, just like look at, okay, these are the ripped up auras. Oh, I guess there's some up top. So let me do that. Okay, now that's better. Oh, I guess that, you know, by my right hip, it's, you know, there's a hole right there in some of my Wei Chi auras. So let me fill that up. There we go. You know, just work that more. I think that lets your stress level go down. Yeah, so hope that helps. It says, thank you for the feedback. I didn't know we could make our grounding auras too big. Yes, it is possible. Yeah, it's a, like I said, I tend to see it more with women than men doing that, but yeah, it's like if a woman feels like things are out of control, she might expand her whole aura to be like the entire room, and her grounding to be the entire room, and then, you know, to try to like get everyone to settle down or calm down or something, or, you know, whatever. Like a lot of times you see it because of that, but it really backfires because then everyone's really in your space because you just expanded to be the entire room, you know. So pull it in. You're like, okay, it's only this big, you know. You know, all your auras, pull them in so they're, you know, they're just this big, and that's it, you know. And your grounding is just for you. You know, maybe do a earth energy soak and just sit there and be like, okay, I am not the room. I am just within these boundaries. You know. But yeah, that's a thing. All right, let's see what else. Should wrap up soon. Oh, just 1 more minute. That's good. All right, so cool. So let's see. Any pet updates? Yeah, we'll just do some pet updates. BooBoo Kitty, our cat that we tricked to come inside in the winter time this past winter. She's progressing very slowly, but she is progressing. Like now we make her eat her dinner. We feed her when we eat dinner, and we had, you know, put her food bowl like on the floor, like near us, so she would have to, you know, we'd at least see her while she's eating, because during the day she's like under the covers of like the bed. She really likes it there, and but anyway, so we used to make her, you know, come out and eat on the floor near us, somewhat near the couch where we were. But now we put the food bowl on the coffee table, like right in front of us. So she really, really has to come in front of us to eat. So that's kind of fun. We get to see her more. And then not only that, we make her, I have made her eat treats off my lap after her main meal is done, you know. So she'll, like, if I'm done eating and so I can get the stuff off my lap, then I put treats there, and then she comes onto the blanket to get the treats and stuff, or onto my husband, you know, if he'll have like a dinner tray on his lap, and then we'll put some treats there, and she'll hop on the tray and eat the treats. So that's a little progress, you know. And this morning, usually she'll kind of, if she knows I'm about to get up and she hears me getting up, she'll stop her patrolling and she'll just go into either back into the bedroom under the bed covers, or she'll go in this other room that we have where I grow my little seedlings and stuff, the plant room we call it. And so, but this morning she didn't, like, she knew I was getting up, and she stayed out here, like looking out the slider, you know, at the backyard and looking at the birds and whatever. And she didn't move. And I was like, you know, 10 feet from her, you know, doing stuff in the kitchen, and just a little bit quietly, you know, but she didn't like flee, you know, immediately. So that was kind of cool. I actually needed her to move because I was going to take Little Man, our dog. That's one of his secret names, so he doesn't know I'm talking about him. He's Little Man. So I was going to take Little Man out of his crate that he was closed in for the night, and you know, take him out in the yard. And so I had to get her out of the way, but I didn't want to scare her. So I put treats in other places, and then I started, you know, I anyway, she eventually moved away, but it was kind of nice that she didn't, immediately flee, that she was hanging out, so bit by bit, little bits. With our dog, whose name is Izzy, but Little Man is his secret name. So with him, maybe not a lot of progress, but he still wears his cone. But we put him on a medication for itching that he has been on in the past, but it's been a while. And we put him on a half dose of it, and it seems to help. But he still has his cone on anyway. But at least, because he had gotten to a point, I think because he also had seasonal allergies, so he had gotten to a point where he was whining all the time because he was uncomfortable. So with the little half dose of the medication, he seems to be mellow again. So that's nice. So that's that. Things are pretty good, I guess. Garden updates. There aren't many, really. Garden updates. I'm still, I could show you the tomato seedlings. I'll just bring out the whole tray and show it, I guess, right before the end of the plant update. But I haven't put anything new in the ground. I have some stuff out on the porch that's all ready to go in the ground. I haven't done it yet. But I have a lot of seedlings. Most of the stuff that is going to go in the ground is still in the plant room, getting big enough, because it has to be big enough to survive abuse from slugs and rabbits and whatever. So it's still in the process of getting big enough. But I'll bring out the tray of tomato plants so you can see all the little seedlings. I limited myself this year because last year I had so many tomato seedlings. It was pretty obscene. Which I got. It was not good. Because I felt guilty. I couldn't put them all on the ground, and it was crazy. So this time I limited myself, and I just have a few extra that I don't need, but most of them it's exactly what I need, the amount that I need. So that way, hopefully, I'll be less conflicted. But anyway, so I'm gonna be away from the camera just for a minute when I get the tray of tomato seedlings, just so you can see them. And then that'll be it. I'll be right back. So I'll go full camera here so you can see better. This is probably, at some point I won't be able to show them all so easily because they'll be in bigger pots, and so I won't be able to carry them around like this. See, that's all of them. There. So put them down. So anyway, that's that. Those are my tomato seedlings. So at some point, I think I'm gonna pot them into larger pots, and then I'll put them out on the porch, and then eventually they'll go in the ground. But I'm not really in a rush with it because they need to get bigger, and the nights here get pretty cool, and that's not good for tomatoes. So it's still so maybe another couple weeks, but it'll be soon-ish that they get in the ground. So that's kind of exciting. But anyway, so that's that. So you guys are amazing. And you can go on my website if you want, jwhealing.com, to purchase upcoming healing sets. you're welcome to do that. A sliding scale. You can just buy one set of healings, or you could buy a subscription if you want. And that's that. So take care, you guys. You're amazing. Bye.